Hello, everyone. Shanti is going to lead class tonight. Hi. Happy Monday to all of you. So glad to have you here with us. Hold on. I can hear myself. Nobody wants that. There we go. Hi, Sarah. Pam, we can take care of the flabby arms. We got you tonight. All right, well, everyone, I'm so glad to have you here. I wanted to start tonight and just take an opportunity to say thank you so much for all of your generosity and gratitude so far. Not just the donations for classes, but the emails and the text messages and the phone calls and just all of the reaching out has been so touching to me and so appreciated, and has just made this time of isolation and being separate feel much more together and united. So thank you, and please don't stop reaching out along the way. I hope you guys enjoyed our drawing after Saturday and kind of seeing each other's practice spaces. We're doing that again tonight, so if you post a picture and tag us of your fur children or your practice space or something to do with class tonight, and tag us either on Facebook or Instagram, you'll be entered in to win tonight a $15 gift card to Barrelick Brewing, which is one of our Portland partners, and we're really glad and honored to support them. So we are going to get started tonight. The class is going to be a tiny bit different because we had a request from someone to do something that is a little more friendly to the wrists, that allows us to strengthen arms and shoulders, but without necessarily being on the hands like plank and downward facing dog. So we're going to integrate some of that, which is going to be particularly good for those of you that are practicing on carpet. So for those of you at home in your practice space, if your space is carpeted and you start to feel some feedback in your wrists, it's usually because that carpet is a little too spongy to really have our wrists feel stable. So you might consider sliding like a breadboard or something that's hard like that underneath your yoga mat just to give you some stability. But with that, we're gonna get started on our backs, if I have room on my mat to do that. As always, if we have any technology issues, like if you can't hear me at any point in class, please just throw a note into the chat section so I can fix it. And your playlist link for class is in that chat section. If you want to use that, you can go ahead and get started. Would you guys like to make some room for me on this mat? Okay, thanks. So let's come on down to our backs. And let's start tonight by just getting nice and comfortable. So legs could be straight or bent. Maybe the hands come down to your belly, or maybe one on belly and one on fur child. Let's give yourself some moments here to check in. Breathe into your space and into the existence that is you today. How are you doing? And try to do this check-in without any judgment. As far as I know, there's no self-help book that talks you through the 7 stages of surviving a pandemic. There's no guide to how to go through this process or what to expect. There's no roadmap for how you should be responding emotionally or physically or energetically. There's no right or wrong way to go through this. So giving yourself some grace and space tonight. Whatever you are feeling and experiencing tonight is the right thing for you in this moment to be experiencing and feeling. And it's okay if you're not at 100% tonight. Let's settle in here for a few more moments. It's an opportunity to check in, to notice how you're feeling, and to gift yourself some compassion, some grace, some space. And I invite you tonight in your practice to give yourself that same compassion and space. That might mean that you don't do everything. That might mean that you back off more than normal. It might mean that you just sit here and take a nap for a while. It might mean that you need to kick your butt more than I'm going to kick it tonight. You need to step it up. But without force, without judgment, showing up on your mat tonight and meeting yourself where you're at. Let's all take a big inhale, fill up. Open your mouth, let it go. Do that again. Big inhale, fill up. Open your mouth, let it go. And then let your breath settle back in and out through your nose if you can. And again, let's just set the legs for what we're about to do into a place where they feel sort of forgettable. There's no strain, there's no effort. And we're going to take your right arm and reach it up and back overhead. Let the hand rest on the ground. And your left arm is going to rest beside you on the ground. Let's go ahead and close our eyes for this if you feel comfortable. As you inhale, we're going to take both of your hands from where they're at and start to lift them up toward the ceiling right above your shoulders. And then they're going to switch location. So as you exhale, the right hand will go down by your side, the left arm will go up overhead. Inhale, bring the hands back up. And switch again. Exhale, left hand goes down by your side, right arm goes overhead. So we're going to stay with this pattern for a little bit here. And what I want you to do is, without the use of your eyeballs, can your arms sync up? Can they move at about the same speed? Can your hands reach the peak of that arch at the same time? And can your hands touch the ground beside you and above you at about the same time? And for right now, this is all there is. Just letting this movement start to be all-encompassing. Let all of your energy and effort and focus be dedicated to this simple movement in the arms for now. Starting to feel that syncing up of the left arm to the right arm. You're syncing up of your awareness of where you are in space without needing to use your eyes. And the syncing up of the movement of your body with your breath. Let's do one more on each side. So 2 more rounds here. And then let's take both arms overhead. Get really long along the spine. Let the tailbone lengthen down. Let the fingertips reach up. And if your legs have been straight, let's go ahead and bend the knees and place the feet on the ground. And we're going to bring your arms down beside you into little T-Rex arms. So the elbows will bend. The upper arms are going to tuck by your side body. You can make T-Rex claws if you want, or you can sort of just let your fingers point up toward the sky. And we're going to press down into your upper arms. Let the outer shoulders press down into the ground and start to feel a little puff. It's a scientific term, a little puff of your heart. Keep your eyeballs looking toward the ceiling. They can be closed or open. And then we'll inhale and lift your hips off the ground, pressing down into your feet. Keep pressing into your upper arms and your outer shoulders. And then keep that puff of your heart and exhale, lower your hips back down toward the ground. And let's lift and lower a couple times there. Inhale, hips lift. Try to keep that lift and puff of your chest. And exhale, lower. How about 2 more there? Inhale, lift. And lower. Starting to have that same sort of check-in now with our body. Just how does your body feel? How is it moving today? And let your hips come all the way down to the ground this time, and then we'll peel your knees up into the chest. Let's reach down with your hands and hold on to shins or ankles, or maybe even some of you feet. Pull your nose up towards your knees. Bring yourself into a teeny tiny little ball. And then let's start to rock up and down your spine. Watch out for fur children. And we're going to make our way up and over into hands and knees. So we're going to come into your table shape. So we'll set up with your wrists below your shoulders, knees below the hips. Inhale, let's drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head, cow pose. And then exhale, round your spine for cat. Speaking of which, inhale, drop the belly, lift the head, cow. Exhale, cat. We're going to do one more here like that. And then let's come into table. And we're going to lower down onto the forearms. It's like you planned it. With your elbows right below your shoulders. So it's basically table, but not a very well built table because two of the legs are shorter than the other. And we're going to turn your palms to face each other like you're going to pet your cat between your hands. And I want you just to imagine that you put a resistance band between your hands. We're just going to simply pull out with the hands, so elbows are on the ground, and then gently let the hands come in toward each other. Let's do that a couple times. Pull out, a little strengthener for the back of the shoulder, and let the hands come together. And two more. Maybe inhale to open. Exhale to close. Inhale to open. And close. And your palms back down to the ground. And let's take a little, we'll call it kitten and calf. So inhale, belly drops like cow pose, but it's just a little baby cow. And then exhale, round your spine, little baby kitten. Let's go two more there. Belly drops, head lifts, inhale. Exhale, round. One more time. Calf pose. And kitten pose. And then right back into your awkward table. And let's come back up onto your hands. And let's tonight turn your index fingers out so they point at like 11 and 1 or 2 and 10. You got a little turnout. It's going to help the shoulders a bit. Tuck your toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. And as you come into down dog, let's take your feet as wide as your yoga mat as well. So you've got a little extra space for the shoulders. You have a little extra space for the legs and the hips. And for a couple breaths here, let your hands, your arms press weight back into your legs. Let your thighs press back toward the wall behind you. So there's that same sort of effort of pulling weight back toward your feet. And let's let the head hang super heavy between your arms. Little shake of the head, no. A nod of the head, yes. And then let's start to walk your feet forward toward your hands. Softly bend the knees as you come forward so it's really easy for your low back. And we're going to take that same sort of draping of the spine that we were just doing in down dog and a complete release of your head once again. You might grab opposite arms or opposite elbows, and let's sway a little bit side to side. Truly let the head completely release, the neck completely release. This might be a sway and bounce. It might just be a sway. And then let's bend your knees a lot. Round your spine, and let's roll up inch by inch by inch, all the way to standing. As you come upright here, let's take your hands, reach them up toward the ceiling. Exhale, let the palms join together, and let's bring the hands down into your heart. One more time like that. Inhale, you can go wide or forward, up to you. And exhale, hands to heart. We'll add on from there. Inhale, let's reach. Anytime we reach, you can go sideways or you can go forward, whatever feels best in your shoulders. And then exhale, let's fold over, let the knees bend just a bit. You're gonna let your fingers come to your shins. Let's slide the fingers up the shins halfway. Head goes straight forward. And then we're gonna bend your elbows, sort of like a little bend and snap. Feel that hug of the elbows and the shoulder blades toward each other. And then exhale, fold, let everything release. And soft bend to your knees. Let's rise up, reach up. Inhale, hands go toward the ceiling. And exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift with your little bend and snap. So bend those elbows, pull them in. Feel an even amount of weight in the heels and the balls of your feet. So try not to go back into the heels. Try to keep it really even. And then release, let it all go. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. We'll add on from there. Inhale, let's reach. And fold. Inhale, let's lift up halfway. If you like the little bend and snap, you can keep adding that. It helps to activate the strength of our upper back, which is ultimately what this pose is supposed to be. And then exhale, we'll fold. Right foot will stay. Left leg is stepping back. I'm going to suggest you keep the back knee off the ground, but if you're feeling like you want to step it back a notch tonight, you could definitely put that back knee down. And we're going to come on up into your lunge. So take a moment to get down into your legs and your feet. And then once you're settled and grounded there, let's bring the palms together overhead. We're going to press the palms into each other. Bend your elbows and just let those hands drop down behind the head. Do your best to not let those elbows turn into angel wings. So you're going to keep those arms wrapped in pretty close. And then press up toward the ceiling through the elbow points. Let's take one more full breath here. And then we'll release the hands up toward the ceiling and bring your hands down toward the ground. Let's step it back into downward facing dog. Take your time. And then we're going to lower your knees down to the floor. Let's replace your right elbow, or right hand with your right elbow, left hand with your left elbow. You can either do palms facing each other or palms down, up to you. And let's take your right leg back and then your left leg back into forearm plank. We're going to call this the chair pose of the shoulders. It's a love-hate for most of us. So the option to modify and to soften it a bit tonight would be knees down below the hips, behind the hips. If you're like, I've been sitting all day, I'm stuck in the house, I want to work, knees up. And let's turn the head a little bit. Let's just try to keep the neck really soft. And then this first one, we're going to soften the knees down to the ground and then allow the thighs to come down and your belly to come down. We're going to untuck your toes, point the toes back. And this pose is called Sphinx. So I want your elbows to push down into the floor and feel like you're trying to pull them back toward you. They won't move. Let your shoulders move back in space. And then let the neck and the head be long and lifted. Big inhale here into your belly. And full exhale. We're going to push down into your knees, bring it back up towards that sort of forearm table. Let's replace left elbow with left hand, right elbow with right hand, and take it back, downward facing dog. If it makes sense in your body, left leg is going up and back. And then any way that works for you, left foot between your hands. Back knee up or down, your choice. We'll come on up into your lunge. Take a moment to find your stability there. And once you feel rooted, let's press the palms together overhead and bend your elbows, drop the hands down behind the head. If keeping the palms pressing into each other is too much, just separate the hands and imagine that you're holding like a bottle of wine or a block or a book or something behind your hands, behind your head, between your hands. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Really lengthen up through the elbows. Soften around the base of the neck. And let the arms straighten, let the palms release. We'll bring your hands down around your front foot and we'll step forward, right foot meets your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe you continue to add that bend and snap. Exhale, fold. At least it gets a chuckle every time. Maybe not from you, but from me. Inhale, hands go up. And exhale, let's slide back, sit back, chair pose. As you settle into your chair here, let's bend your elbows out to the side into like a goalpost or a cactus shape. And we're going to bring the arms toward each other. Drop your left arm below your right arm. Let's latch the elbows, and you can either hug your arms around your shoulders or press the hands into each other. Sit down a little deeper, take your elbows forward and up. And then slowly straighten the legs, release the hands up toward the sky. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers on shins or bend and snap. Exhale, release. Left foot will stay, right foot steps back. We'll come on up to that same lunge, back knee off the ground this time if you're okay with it. And we're going to open into warrior 2. So let your back heel drop, shoulders open toward the long edge of your mat. Make sure your front knee is pointing towards the middle of your front foot, maybe even toward the pinky toe. Be better to have it going that direction than falling in. And let's keep your front knee bent. We'll take your right hand down the back leg. Left hand reaches up and back for reverse warrior. And we're going to add a little head grab on tonight. So you're going to bend that left elbow. Let your hand come down to the back of the head. And lengthen up through that left elbow tip. Couple full breaths here. And then let's slowly release that left arm. That left elbow is coming all the way down onto your left thigh. Right hand is going up toward the ceiling. And we're going to take that right hand, reach it back toward the wall behind you, and then down toward your yoga mat, forward and up. Let's do a couple more of those. Back, down, forward, up. Let's do 2 more. And start to feel if this movement can feel as though it's coming from your right shoulder blade, as opposed to just the hand and the arm. The next time that right hand is reaching back, let's use it to bring you all the way back up, warrior 2. And we'll take hands down around your front foot, back heel lifts. And let's take it back. It does not need to be graceful, just find a way. Downward facing dog. From this down dog, you can either step into table, lower into table, or come forward into plank to lower onto the forearms. The last time we did it in table, you can also do it from plank. So we're placing left hand with left elbow, right hand with right elbow, forearm plank. Remember, palms can face each other where they can be turned down. And then let's lower the knees to the floor. Let your thighs and belly come down, toes untuck. For Sphinx. Now, if you signed up mostly for wine tonight, then I would invite you just to stay here. If you were like, I didn't show up for core work, just imagine that what's about to happen is not happening. You can stay right here in Sphinx. Or as you exhale, you're going to push into your elbows and your knees and start to round your spine like cat. The head can coil in a little bit, the belly will engage, and then let it go. Inhale, belly comes down, heart moves forward, head lifts. How about 3 more? You can choose to ignore it and breathe in Sphinx. or you can choose to explore it and just be compassionate with yourself if it feels harder than you think it should be tonight. One more. So I'll take one more really full breath in Sphinx. Let the neck release. And then you can either push into the knees and press up into forearm table, or tuck the toes under and lift up into forearm plank. Your choice. In either location, we're going to replace the left elbow with the left hand, right elbow with right hand, and downward facing dog. Any way that works for you to make those transitions is a great way to make them. If it feels nice in your body, right leg to the sky and right foot forward between your hands. We'll come up into your crescent lunge. Open up, warrior two. Shoulders are parallel to the long edge of your mat. Right knee is pointing forward and maybe slightly out. And then let's reverse. Left hand down the back leg, right hand reaches up. We'll bend that right elbow and let the hand come down to the low part of the skull, kind of like if you have a low ponytail, right about there. Let's really press up through your right elbow tip. Slowly release, come back up. Right elbow, right thigh, left hand to the sky. We'll take those same circles with the arms. So getting into the shoulder, hand reaches back, down, forward, and up. 3 more of those. Let it get nice and fluid, just like some WD-40 for all of the joints of your shoulder there. We'll take one more round of that circle. And as that hand reaches back the next time, let's come on up. Warrior two. Hands are going to come down around your front foot. Let that back heel lift. We'll step into the front foot, bringing feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees and come up chair. So for those of you that this is newer to, I'm going to turn and face the camera for this one so you can see it. So chair pose of any height. Elbows bend out. We'll bring the arms toward each other. It's going to be left arm on top this time, right arm on bottom. So the elbows do a full cross. And then you either just can hug yourself or you can press the hands into each other in some way. Elbows go up and forward. Deep breaths into the upper and lower back. Slowly straighten the legs, reach the hands up. Palms join together overhead, and exhale, hands down into your heart. Close the eyes or drop the gaze, couple breaths. Checking in. Is there some way that you can give yourself compassion or space? Is there something that you can release or let go of? And let's blink the eyes open. We're going to shift into your right foot. We're going to start to bend your left knee. We're going to bring that left knee up any amount. We're coming into tree pose. So we're going to turn that left knee out to the side and either place the foot on the ankle, the calf, or the thigh for your tree pose tonight. And let's just start with hands at heart, palm to palm. Feel the foot and the leg press into each other so you have one really solid trunk of your tree foundation. And then we're gonna add on a variation tonight that's a little different than our normal just growing of branches. So let's take your left hand to that left leg. We're not really pushing on it, just kind of letting the hand settle there. We'll take your right hand up to the sky, get super, super long up that whole right side of the body. And then nice and slowly, we're gonna start to take a side bend here. So take that right arm up and over toward the left. If you step out, totally to be expected. Just take a breath and come back in. And then ease yourself back up. Let your left hand go to the sky as well. You might tap down, you might not. We're gonna turn that left knee into the chest. Pause there. I'm gonna turn back to face this side on my mat. And then let's slowly take that left leg all the way back into your lunge once again. And let's drop your back heel, open up, warrior two. As you find your warrior two, let's inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the hands skyward. And then exhale, bend the front knee, lower the arms. Two more like that. Inhale, straighten, reach up. Exhale, bend, and lower. One more. And we'll keep your arms where they're at. Let's straighten the front leg. Reach forward with your right hand. And let that right hand come on down to your shin. If you like to put the hand on the floor, great. If you prefer to have it on the thigh, awesome. Just don't put a lot of weight on it. And then let's take that left arm. We're gonna reach it behind you to start. And let's turn that palm as though it's trying to press something down toward the ground. Your gaze can be down, sideways, or up. And then let's flip your palm toward the ceiling. Let that happen all the way up in the shoulder. And let's take that left arm up and forward. Feel your left foot pushing down and back as you reach forward through those left fingertips. Get super, super long. And let's take that and rewind it one more time. So we'll take the hand, palm turns back behind us and pushes down and back. And then turn the palm up and sweep it up and forward. One more big breath here. And then we're going to bend your front knee, come up, warrior two. Let your hands come to your heart, and we're going to turn all 10 toes to face the long edge of your mat. Once you're there, let's turn toes out, heels in, setting up for horse or goddess, and we'll bend the knees. So as you bend the knees, those knees should point toward, hello again, toward the middle of your feet. And then we're going to take your hands, reach them up toward the sky. We're going to continue to get into those shoulders. So some of these shoulder strengthening poses that we're doing also require a good amount of shoulder mobility. So we're going to give our shoulders a healthy dose of both tonight. So I want you to bend your elbows out to that goalpost shape. And then we're going to bring your arms together in front of the chest. Let at least the hands press together. And then you're going to take your elbows up any amount. We've been here already, right? And then open the elbows back into that goalpost shape. So they're kind of big circles. Bring them together. Take the elbows up. Separate the elbows and open back into that goalpost. How about two more of those? Press. Lift. Open. Last one, press. Lift. And open. And then just bring your hands together in front of your heart. Left toes turn in, right toes turn out. Coming back toward that warrior two. Let's reverse. And then let's bring hands down around your front foot, back heel lifts. And we're going to step into plank pose. We're going to transition down onto forearm. So again, you can do that with your knees down, or you can do that with your knees up. We'll go right then left. Palms can either be facing each other or facing down. Let's take a couple breaths in your forearm plank here. Pressing down through those elbows, feeling a sense of rebounding, of lifting through the whole midsection. And then this time, instead of coming down onto the belly, we're gonna actually start to walk your feet in. It's downward facing dog, but on your forearms, so dolphin pose. For those of you that come in and you're like, oh gosh, this is this is worse than chair pose. I want you to take your feet really wide on the mat, bend your knees like little froggy legs, and just give yourself some extra space. Let your head fall between your arms. You might kind of nod it and shake it a couple times. And we're going to lower your knees all the way down onto the mat. Let your knees go wide, big toes together, and let's press back into child's pose. Couple full breaths here. And just breathe into the entire width and breath with a D, TH, of your upper back and your low back. And just whispering silently to yourself, however I am right now is okay. I don't need to be at 100%. Let's rise up into table. We're going to make our way back to the front of the mat. So you could come back into downward facing dog and walk forward. You could also just replace your knees with your feet. And there you are. Let's roll up all the way to standing at the top of the mat. We'll take that big reach up toward the ceiling. Palms join, let the hands come down to the heart. Big full inhale here. Full complete exhale. And let's start to shift into your left foot. Right knee comes up. We'll turn that right knee out toward the side. And we'll place the foot on thigh or calf or ankle bone, your choice, for tree pose. So we skip the knee in tree pose because ideally your foot and your leg are pushing into each other. And if you're doing that on the knee, it's not great for the joint. So try to be above or below the knee if you can. Now you can choose to skip our funky add-on tonight, or you can keep hands at heart or take them to the sky, whatever you'd like. If you want to take that side bend, we'll take right hand to right thigh, left hand goes straight up, and then just very gently slide that right hand down the right leg as you take your left arm up and over. Feel yourself responding to the constant shifts of balance. Staying present enough that you can adjust as you need to. And then we'll come back up. Hands to the sky, and then hands to heart. And try to, without stepping out if you can, but if you need to step out, step out. We'll turn that knee forward and bring it back up toward the chest. We'll slowly take your right leg back into your lunge. And then open up, warrior two. As you get there, let's inhale, straighten the front leg, reach your hands skyward. And then exhale, bend the front knee, lower the arms. Nice and easy like that, 2 more times. Let's lift up. And lower. Lift up. And lower. We'll keep the arms where they're at, straighten your front leg. And allow that left arm to begin reaching forward. Left hand comes to shin or ground or thigh, right hand to the sky. And then we're going to turn that right arm so the palm faces behind you and press the hand down as though there's resistance. And then turn the palm upward, press it up toward the sky and forward. And then let's go through that one more time. So palm turns up, you press it back and down. And then turn the palm skyward and press it up and forward. Let's bend your front knee, come up, warrior two. Again, we'll bring hands to heart. Turn the feet to parallel, toes out, heels in. I'm just going to pivot so you can see. Right back into that horse pose. Let's start in the goal post again, but this time we're going to hit rewind on that circle. So instead of coming together first, we're going to take the arms up and back. Let the palms come together, the elbows come in, and then elbows go down, and we open back up. Take it up. Palms press behind the head, elbows come together, and then elbows come down. Open up. Press the palms, elbows come together, and forward. How about one more there? Open. Take it back. Elbows come down. And then let's turn it back into warrior two, facing the front of your mat. And we'll take hands down around your front foot and step it back into plank. From your plank, knees up or down, we'll let the elbows come down to the ground into that forearm plank shape again. So again, knees can be down on the ground or lifted. And we're going to walk your feet in for that dolphin pose one more time. Remember, your feet can go as wide as you like. You can have a soft bend to the knees if that feels nice. Let the head be heavy, just let it hang. Those of you who want more here, you're going to keep your left foot grounded, take your right foot toward the ceiling. Keep pressing down through your elbows. Feel like you're lifting away from the ground as you root down through the forearms. And let the right foot come down. Left leg lifts if you lifted the right leg. And then foot comes down. Knees to the floor. Knees wide, big toes together. And let's press back into child's pose. Just a couple breaths here. And let's come on up into table. Either from table, for those of you avoiding down dog today, or from down dog, we're going to step your right foot between your hands. Back knee will come on down to the ground. If you need to pat it, put a blanket or a sock or something beneath your knee. And let's come on up, hands to the sky. Once you've found a lot of length there, let's bring hands to heart. We're going to tip forward just a bit. Left elbow will turn down, right elbow will turn up. And we'll place that left elbow either on top of the right thigh or outside the right thigh for your revolved lunge. Those of you that are still wanting more, back knee comes off the ground. Stay for 2 more breaths here. Allow the spine to be as long as possible. A gentle pressure between the 2 palms. And then we'll slowly untwist and let your hands come down around that front foot. As your hands find the ground, we're going to let the right foot wiggle further out to the right. Your right hand will come inside the right leg. Lizard pose. And those right toes can angle out as much as you need them to for that right hip to be happy. As happy as the hips get. We're going to be here for several breaths, so you're welcome to stay up on hands or maybe come down onto one or both forearms, as we've done a few times tonight for your lizard pose. Two more breaths wherever you're at. And then we'll come back up onto hands. If you're on forearms, and either table or downward facing dog, we'll pull it back. Take a full breath wherever you're at. And then either from table or downward facing dog, we're going to bring your left foot forward between your hands. Back knee will come on down to the ground, at least to start. And let's come on up into your low lunge. Reaching the hands towards the sky to find length and lift through the spine, through the body. And then hands come down to heart as you lean a little forward. And we'll drop right elbow down, left elbow up. And either place the right elbow on top of the right thigh or tuck it outside the left thigh for your twist. Again, those of you that want more, all you have to do is tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee. Those of you that are trying to be a little softer on yourselves tonight, keep the back knee down. Two more breaths here. We'll let the hands come down around your front foot. Back knee comes to the ground if it was lifted, and we'll wiggle into lizard pose. So left leg goes out toward the left, toes might angle out a bit. Hands can be on the floor, or you can be down on one or both forearms, letting yourself bow in here for a few breaths. This is a pose that's a definite love-hate for a lot of people. So do your best to get comfortable here. For a lot of us, the angling out of that front leg is a huge piece of getting more comfortable. So instead of trying to keep the knee and the foot parallel to the side of the mat, letting things angle out like 45 degrees. Staying wherever you're at, a couple more breaths. We're going to actually come to the top of the mat one last time from here. So for some of you, you'll tuck that the back toes under, and you'll step your right foot outside your right hand. Some of you might need to take a few steps to get there. I want you to end up with fairly wide feet, maybe as wide or wider than the short end of your mat, toes slightly turned out. And we're going to grab either opposite arm and let yourself drape, or some of you might clasp the hands around the bottom part of the skull and sort of wrap your forearms around your jawline and let the arms and the head just be super, super heavy. Just dead weight there. Tractioning for the spine. A release for the neck and shoulders. You can sway a bit or you can be still. And let's release the arms, just let them drape toward the ground. And we're going to slowly bend your knees and be kind to your knees and ankles as you lower yourself down to the ground. There might be a plop at some point. As you find the ground, let's bring soles of the feet together, knees open. And let's hold on to the shins or the ankles here for a few breaths. Let the hips be heavy. Crown of the head lifts. You might close your eyes here. Breathing deeply and down into the basin of your pelvis, into the bowl of your belly. Allow your right sit bone to ground just a little bit more. And your left sit bone. And let's take your shoulders up towards your ears. And with your next exhale, let them go. We're going to keep the same angle in the legs, but we're going to open it up into a V. And as you open your legs into a V, let's have toes point up toward the sky as opposed to toes rolling back to point behind us. Now, for some of you, it's going to feel nice just to take your hands behind you and sit up super tall. So you might give that an option or try and see how that feels as an option. And then for some of you, walking and tipping forward here might feel nice. Maybe this is the time that you don't need to go at 100%. Maybe like 40% feels nice tonight. Let's breathe into the entire back line of your body. Sort of feel yourself lengthening from the backs of your heels, even the soles of the feet, up the backs of the heels, up the calves and the hamstrings, the glutes, all of the muscles that run along the spine, all of the connective tissue that connects across our back, all the way up between the shoulder blades and the back of the neck, even lengthening through the scalp. And start to walk your hands back in. Let's bring the hands underneath the knees. Help bend your knees and bring your legs back together. And we'll lower ourselves down onto our back, nice and slow. And as you come down onto your back, we're going to bend the knees and place the feet on the ground. And then we're going to come back into that little T-Rex shape that we did right at the beginning of class. So arms bent, upper arms pressing into the floor. You can play along and make T-Rex claws and T-Rex sounds, or you can be a little robot about it. And let's start to push into those upper arms. Take your shoulders into the floor and lift your hips. We're here at the beginning of class. Similar shape, but we're going to hold it now instead of dynamically lowering and lifting. Some of you stay here with the T-Rex claws. Some of you maybe straighten your arms, reach down and grab onto the edges of your yoga mat and sort of pull that yoga mat apart. You might walk your shoulders a tiny bit more beneath you. And if the chin and the chest are moving toward each other, let it be because your chest is moving toward your chin, not because your chin is tucking into the chest. And then nice and slowly, let's lower the hips. And release any grab that you have in the arms or T-Rex situation. So as you come down here, I want us to tip our body to the left, just enough that you can slide your left hand under your back, in the small of the back if you can. And we'll turn the palm to face the floor. So the back of the hand is in the small of your back, palm is facing away from you, and then we're going to lay down on that hand. Your legs can stay bent and the knees can fall in on each other. You can take the legs just straight, up to you. And we're going to rest here for several breaths. If you feel absolutely nothing in the shoulder, then you might walk your hand a tiny bit more up toward the mid-back. But I don't want this to be a ton of sensation. If you're feeling a lot of sensation, take your hand further down the back. And let's take some really deep breaths into the entire shoulder. The muscles around the shoulder blade, the muscles on the left side of the chest, the upper arm, the armpit. You might choose to roll your head toward the right here and see if that adds something interesting. Take one more full breath here. And then let your head turn up. Roll to the right just enough that you can release that left hand. Maybe give it a couple flops and rolls on the ground beside you. And then we'll shift your body to the left enough that your right hand can slide beneath the back. Again, palm is facing away from you. Just enough height up the back, up the spine, that maybe you feel a little tiny sensation in the shoulder, but it's definitely not intense. You're able to relax into it pretty fully. Again, legs can be bent or straight, and you can choose to keep your eyes upward, or you can turn your gaze toward the left if that adds something interesting for the shoulder. Deep, steady breaths now into that entire right shoulder. It's a very complicated joint. Joints plural. So breathing into the entirety of the neck, what you would maybe refer to as the shoulder and the chest, the upper arm, the armpit, all around the shoulder blade and the upper back. Everything's so interconnected there. One more full breath here. Let your head turn up toward the sky. Shift to the left just enough that that right arm can release. Maybe you give it a couple rotations there. And then let's bring your knees in toward your chest. Reach down, hold on to shins or ankles or maybe feet. Teeny tiny little ball of yourself. And then let's release. Legs come down onto the ground. Arms release either by your sides or on your belly. Let's all take a big inhale here, fill up. And let that air go. Allowing yourself here to take rest. And this doesn't have to be this perfectly serene moment. It might not be, especially with all of us practicing at home. But however you're feeling in this moment, whatever chaos exists within you or around you, whatever emotions and feelings you find there, allow yourself to breathe really easily and fully. And allow some piece of you, some part of you, to be at rest. Some piece of you, some part of you to not need to perform right now, to not be at 100% right now. Gently slide the arms overhead and allow them to reach back and long. You might press out through the toes for a moment if your legs are straight, pointing the toes, and then press out through the heels and flex the feet. And then point and flex. And then let's bend your knees when you're ready, no rush. Let the feet come to the ground. And we're going to ease ourselves over to a side. Your arms should be there to catch the head as you roll, and just kind of find a moment in that fetal position shape. And we'll gently and slowly press ourselves up away from the ground and into our comfortable seat. As you find that comfortable seat, let your hands come together, palm to palm, in front of your heart. And just stay with yourself for a few more moments here. Heading off into the night and the week ahead of you with this heart full of compassion and forgiveness and grace for yourself. All of those moments that you won't be at 100% this week. That same space of compassion and forgiveness for those around us as well, that might not be at 100% from time to time. Thank you all so much for coming together tonight from your home. The light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the practice tonight. We're going to head over to Zoom here in a few moments and chat. If you want to chat and cheers with us, if you have any questions about the forearm stuff we did tonight and the different variations, I'm happy to answer those questions. We'll be at it again Wednesday night at 6 o'clock here. If you have any requests for class, reach out because I'm designing classes based on requests. So let me know what you want. And then we'll do it again Saturday morning at 10. If you'd like to donate for class, there's information about how to do that in the description of the video. And post a picture of your home practice space or your animals or how you practice with us tonight. And we'll do that drawing tomorrow morning for a Bearlick gift card. All right. Thank you guys so much. And I will post the link for Zoom here in just a moment. Thank you, everyone, for your notes. I appreciate it. Here comes the link here in un momento. Boom. There it is. Grab that link and come hang out for a little bit if you'd like. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I'll see you next time.